What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ, and this week we have the 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser, and this is basically the middle trim level, if you will. You have the 1958, which is basically the base, and then you have a first edition, which is like the top, basically. So it's kind of like the middle. Bunch of bells, bunch of whistles. We will get into it. This is the full review. Next video is going to be 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. Over 20,000 subscribers. Thank each and every one of you. So we are going to start with the cinematic. Then we are going to go around the exterior and talk about stats, figures, things I think you guys would like to know. Jump into the interior, check that out, and then we are going to take it on a drive. So without further ado, let's roll. Starting with some of these stats and figures, this 2024 Land Cruiser is a mild hybrid, has an inline 4-cylinder pushing 326 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque total combined. Transmission is an 8-speed auto, full-time 4-wheel drive for the drivetrain. Curb weight, you're looking around 5,000 pounds, and it's going to be pushing it from 0 to 60 in an impressive 6.5 seconds. Now, towing capacity right around 6,000 pounds. Gas mileage is important, 22 city, 25 highway, with a combined average of 23 mpgs. Gas tank size is 17.9. Vehicle dimensions, let's talk about those very quickly. Overall length, 16.1 feet, and width is right around 6.6 feet, a little bit wider if you include the mirrors, of course. Ground clearance is right around 8 inches. Now, let's talk about pricing. So the 1958, which like I said is the base model, starts at $55,950, and the Tester today comes in at $71,364, and that does include the destination charge. Let's take a look at the exterior, things you may or may not notice. So we have nice bright LED little fog lights down there. Up here, LED light bar, LED headlamps, super bright at night, very nice. Camera located here in the center, plenty of cooling through the grille, as you can see there. As we work our way around, taking a look at the tires, and I am a huge fan of these. You guys know, like a gunmetal gray is like really my favorite. Hides brake dust, so that's super nice. They are a 265/60/20. And this is the upgraded wheel option, so it is a little bit extra to get these wheels. Nice side step bars, which actually are very useful on this vehicle. Many vehicles, I don't find them useful. They're kind of awkward. On this one, it actually is very useful, at least for me. You do have keyless entry here on the front. However, it is not on the rear. Also located on this vehicle up top, you're going to see the roof rack up there. That is also optional as well, and I believe it's like between $1,000 and $1,500. I'll put the window sticker up here for just a second for you guys to look at. Now that we are in the rear, let's take a look back here pretty quickly. So you do have a button over here on the left-hand corner. If you press that, little thing to grab onto there, and you can easily reach in there. This is a manual operation, so close it. And then if you want to pop the rear hatch, it is power right underneath the Y. If you just press, up it will go. Now that we are back here, definitely a bunch of usable space for sure. I will put the cubic feet up here on the screen for you to see. Before we jump into the rear, I just wanted to point out driver's side for the fuel door. I'm 5'9" if you're new to my channel, so let's see whether it is easy to get in or not. We're gonna do the rear, then we're gonna do the front. I do this on every single vehicle. So again, this step bar, very, very useful down here because I can literally step and it's super convenient. There's also a handle located right here. So grab there, pull up, in, like, I mean, super easy. Like, I really enjoy it, and the step bar's not too high, so it's easy to step onto that as well. So like I said, it's like perfect on this vehicle. That's my complaint on a lot of vehicles. Step bar just awkward. For me, it is really good. All right, let's touch on some of the materials, and this, excuse me, is really important to me. Very, very soft where your elbow is. I mean, very soft, and then up here you can see is soft as well. And then in between is kind of harder, but it's almost like a rubberized, so it's not just straight plastic. Listen. Hopefully you can hear that. Nonetheless, very nice. You have a little bezel on the window switch, which is also nice to have. Makes it feel a little bit more premium. This vehicle does feel very premium, by the way. I am a really big fan of this, and I did not expect to be because, again, not really a huge SUV guy, but I'm going to tell you something. This thing is nice. Out of all the ones I've had, very, very nice. Now, we have seat back pockets in both seats. You have your own climate controls back here as well. And then here in the center, we can actually fold this down. 2 cup holders with an armrest. And then you do not actually have any air vents down here in the middle, which is actually kind of almost funny looking, but they are located right here. As you can see right now, they're shut. And then now, hopefully you can see it, it is open. You can kind of move it left and right, and then also pivot, as you can see there. So actually it's in a really good location. But yeah, nice to have your own temperature controls back here being tri-zone. Stepping into the front now, again, there is a grab handle up here if you need it. I don't necessarily know if I have to have that, but it is nice. And again, step bar, super nice to have down here. Just makes it really easy to get into this vehicle. Again, just bragging about that because it's in a really good spot. And I feel like many vehicles, I don't know if they just don't take the time to see like what's a good height or whatever, and they just like slap it on there. I don't know. This one, really good though. Taking a look at the driver's door, very similar to the rear. You can see that's a big soft section where your elbow is, also very soft. You have 2 levels of memory seating. All of your mirrors controls, including power fold mirrors, and then obviously bezels on the switches as well, which is nice. Down here on the left, you've got several different buttons, one of which are your rear hatch. You have your automatic high beams, which is up to you. Parking sensors, your different controls as far as all the brightness goes on the interior. Taking a look at the steering wheel, if you can probably see those little lights right there, those you cannot see in person. You can only see that through the camera. This basically is looking at your eyes to make sure you're looking at the road, and if not, it'll come up with a warning telling you, hey, pay attention. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Over here on the left, a lot of your different media controls, volume toggle and whatnot, including your voice command. Over on the right, all of your cruise control settings for the most part, other than obviously your different modes for radio and seeking tracks. Lane centering and adaptive cruise control work very well. Do like that. Out in front of us, we do have the heads-up display, which again is part of a package on this vehicle, including the JBL speakers in that. And here in the center console, soft touch, there is a cool box. You just simply press the cool box. You can probably hear it in there. But yeah, you could fit, I don't know, 4, maybe 5, 6 water bottles at most. And you can see it has an indent up here too, so that way you've got more room, you can fit stuff down in there. Does work pretty nicely. You probably already noticed out in front of us, fully digital display. Over on the right, also very nice size screen. I love the way that Toyota's done it. It's crystal clear, love the graphics. Now, let's put it into reverse very quickly. And you do have your 360 camera. Again, this is camera through camera, so don't judge it on that. I'm telling you, this is a very, very big upgrade. Toyota, you guys know, for the longest time, had the blurriest, just not good cameras. Now, They finally updated it, renovated all of it. It looks really good. So definitely hats off to Toyota for doing that. Located all the way up in there is your start stop button for power on, power off, obviously. And then down here is your tow haul button. Again, up to 6,000 pounds. Up here is the rear view mirror. It is a digital rear view as well. Simply click that forward if you want it digital, and then if not, boom, regular mirror. Totally up to you. Got our different controls for the sunroof. We can put that back, see what it looks like out through there. There is no panoramic roof, but at least there is a sunroof. I know we're skipping around a little bit. Back here to the center, heated seats, cooled seats, heated steering wheel. Down below, we have 3 different USB-Cs. That's actually quite a lot. Camera button all the way up in there. You have your wireless charging pad, which does fit even the largest of phones. I can confirm. I do have a S23 Ultra, and it fits just fine and charges good. Over on the left, we have different drive modes, all of your different off-road stuff as well. Electronic parking brake. And then we've got different lockers here, traction control. You have your 4 low, 4 high. So a lot of different off-road controls. We're not doing it off-road. You guys know every vehicle that's like off-road focused, every reviewer, that's what they do, right? So there's plenty out there. But my question is what is it like from a daily standpoint, right? Like majority of the time you're going to be driving this on pavement. So is it comfortable to drive day to day? And that's what we're going to be going through on our drive. And I'm going to tell you already a sneak peek. I am so impressed with this vehicle. Like there's a lot of vehicles I would pick this over for an SUV. Like this is by far one of my favorites so far that Toyota's put out. So I really am enjoying this, and we'll get into that into the drive. And I think we've pretty much covered everything on the interior for the most part. So let's go ahead and get into the drive. Let's roll. My first impression of this vehicle, right? It was in my driveway. I have like, in Arizona, most driveways, not all, but you have almost like a rain guard type of curb. So like it's probably a 2-3 inch drop. I don't know, somewhere in that region. With that said, usually that's always where they come, right? Because these vehicles get dropped off in my driveway and then I pull them out. My very first reaction was pulling it out of my driveway, and the way that it so smoothly absorbed getting out of my driveway, there was a guy in front of me just literally just ran a stop sign with no stop. That's, pay attention out there, folks. Anyway, with that said, I was so impressed. Like I could not believe that it could be that smooth getting out of my driveway. And you guys know, go look through my channel, look at all the vehicles that I've reviewed so far, and you can see that there are some competitors that I have driven and reviewed directly to this, that this just blew it out of the water, right out of the gate. Like, just as far as just smoothness getting out. Second reaction, you guys know, important to me is noise levels. The tire noise on this, I always expect tires to be a little bit noisier on off-road focused vehicles, and this thing is by far the best. Best vehicle to date, off-road focused. It is so quiet as far as tire noise goes. Wind noise also very, very good. The only thing you can hear in this vehicle some is the engine. But I kind of like it, right? Because it's a little bit off-road focused, and when you're just kind of cruising along, it's still quiet. It's only whenever you're under like full acceleration you can hear it, which is totally acceptable. So noise levels all the way around. I mean, honestly, I would literally, like the engine noise, I'd probably give like a 8 out of 10. Everything else, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, no question. I am very, very impressed with this vehicle. Next, let's touch on, oh, we got a bunch of little baby quails. We do not want to run them over. Oh my goodness, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 babies. Holy cat, they're like this small. You guys probably can't even see them, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Anyway, let's touch on blind spot very quickly. Over to our left, this pillar's really skinny for especially the size of the vehicle, so no problem, can see out there easily. Checking over to the right, again, a lot of windows, easy to see out of, but of course there is blind spot monitoring if you need it. Lane centering and adaptive cruise control, I've already touched on it. It does work very well. Lane centering in Toyota, at least thus far, you do have to have your cruise control set. This vehicle also has, and the option upgrade with like the cool box, the JBL, all that stuff. It has lane change assist called LCA. And I mean, I don't really use it honestly, but basically you can put on your blinker and it will start to change lanes as long as everything is clear. Again, I mean, I don't know if you really need that, to be honest, but it's there if you would like it. Let's touch on power, because everyone, right, I've seen even the Tacoma reviews that I did, everyone's like, ah, it's a 4-cylinder, I'm done, I'm not done. Listen, just go freaking drive it. Go drive it. Like, if I put this thing to the floor, it's going. So don't worry that it's a 4-cylinder until you drive it. If it had less impressive numbers, then okay, I get it, but it doesn't. It's still a very impressive numbers. So that's my rant on that. Give it a try, because I am super impressed, and I might have had a little bit of an attitude just like you. Now, let's go over the cattle guard, do it every week. Let's see how this vehicle does, and I bet it does good. Here we go. Yeah, like, absorbed it well, quiet overall. You go watch all the other reviews that I have. Like, you can look up direct competitors and compare exactly how much my body moved, the sound, everything. I guarantee you, you're gonna go, wow, that was impressive, because that's something you can visually see and kind of hear the noise levels. As far as modes go, there is a sport, normal, and eco. In sport, you can definitely feel it hold gears, it downshifts, and it's ready to roll. Oh man, it is peppy, holy cow. And then in eco, obviously quite restrictive. I find myself just in normal majority of the time. It's, again, programmed very well, and it feels normal. Obviously, with a bigger vehicle, the last thing I want to touch on really is suspension. Now, suspension does really good, and trust me, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Obviously, I just have to state it, it does have a little bit of body roll, like if we're going around turns, but again, very controlled. I'm very happy with it, especially for the size, apples to apples. I think it's exceptional, to be quite honest. And especially from a daily standpoint, like, I could absolutely daily this every single day and just be comfortable. Like, you're sitting up off the ground just perfectly, you feel safe, like, and you guys know, like, I'm a supercar owner, I love low to the ground cars, but from a daily perspective, something like this is just, oh, this is it. Like, this is a very, very nice vehicle. And the other thing to remember is Toyota does hold value quite well compared to everything out in the industry. So even though, yes, it's not necessarily cheap, but I think for what you're getting, I think it's priced very fairly. Honestly, almost maybe a little on the low side, which is crazy to think about. Because obviously, yes, several years ago, things were just way cheaper. It's not that way now, so it is what it is, but very, very impressed with this vehicle. Again, getting this vehicle, this isn't one that I really selected, like, hey, can I get that vehicle please to review? This was like another one kind of canceled on me, so then we slid this one in, and I was like, I mean, we'll see. I am so freaking happy it worked out that way, because this thing is an absolute joy to drive. And you guys know, watch all my SUV reviews. Again, my wife owns an SUV now, but I'm not a huge SUV guy. This right here is one SUV that I genuinely, me personally, would buy. Like, I really do like it. Next video, 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. So be sure to be on the watch out for that. Appreciate all of you guys watching. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.